Hello and welcome to the workshop. Appreciate you stopping by and spending a few minutes with us. Now, if you are new to the channel, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We upload a brand new video, Buckets.
We do upload a brand new video almost every single day.
Almost every single day. So if you love sneakers, you have come to the right place. Trust me, trust us, I should say. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, please do us a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. I know it seems like a small thing. I know it seems like whatever, but it actually does go a really long way. It helps the channel grow. It helps us reach new people, which is always a good thing. So thank you for that. And if you want to see what's going on outside of YouTube, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Fomer Simpson. And with that said, Buckets, I think that covers everything. Do we dive in?
We dive in.
3, 2, 1, bang, bang. This is the Union LA Air Jordan 4 after 2 months of wearing. Now, some of you may be familiar with these kind of reviews that we do. It's something that we love to do. If you know us, then you know we wear our sneakers. And something that we started doing a while back was what we have dubbed the life test. It's where we, in this case, me or I wear a sneaker for a certain amount of time, basically every single day over that duration, whether it's 2 weeks or 2 months in this case, and then boom, we report back to you with the final verdict. When you think about it, it's actually a much better way to review a sneaker. I mean, we review sneakers, all these. Look at these. Sneakers everywhere. And we do sneakers right out of the box in almost all of our videos, but this is a much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Comprehensive?
Comprehensive is the word.
In-depth. It's a much more thorough review, if you will. You just get a better feel for how good the sneaker is or isn't in some cases. So with that said, let's discuss some things. First and foremost, I always like to look at the value of a sneaker and if it's gone up or down since I bought them. You know, when you think about how valuable sneakers are these days, that's definitely something to mention in an update, right? So in this case, I don't remember the exact dollar amount. It was somewhere in the $750, $800 range. And Buckets, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was before they released on the sneakers app.
Yeah, only on Union LA.
Only on Union LA. So they were like around $800. And now I see them, now that this colorway has released on the sneakers app. Did the Guava Ice pair release on the sneakers app too, or just these?
I think just these.
I think it was just these as well. So these are now down in that $500 range. Of course, it does depend on size, but that's like a $300 drop. So it is something to note. And I guess take it for what it is. It's something to note. Moving on to the fit, that's not something that really changes. I guess with some sneakers, if they have a material that stretches out a bunch, the fit can change. In this case, it has not changed at all. They do fit a tad bigger, just a little side note. They do fit a tad bigger than a normal Jordan 4 in my opinion, but it's nothing too crazy. I got my normal size and I am fine with that size. Now, what has changed is the comfort, and that kind of goes hand in hand with fit. The more you wear these, the more comfortable they get. And I feel like that's the case a lot of times with Jordan Retros. You know, right out of the box, they're usually a little stiff. They're not very comfortable, but the more you wear them, the more you break them in, the more cozy they do get. Now, is this some ultra comfortable sneaker? No. It is certainly not, but they aren't uncomfortable either, if that makes sense. Now, keep in mind, I have worn these essentially every single day for a couple months now. That's a lot of miles put into these, so it goes without saying that they are beyond broken in at this point. Another thing I want to touch on is the durability. Jordan Retros, quiet as it's kept, I feel like they're usually tanks on the low. I feel like they hold up really well, and these are definitely doing that. Of course, after years and years, you see Jordan Retros fall apart. The midsole crumbles, the glue starts coming undone, and you get the midsole separation, and there are different issues. But Buckets, we once did the math on it. That's like the 8-year mark, 10-year mark, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, something like that.
For the first couple years, they hold up very, very well. I think actually better than they're given credit for. And these are even a little extra durable because of the materials they used. You got a really thick cut of suede, much thicker than what you normally see. And even the mesh that they used is pretty rugged. So they do hold up very, very well. By the way, we unstitched and unfolded the tongue on these. Some of you may have seen that video just because I hated the way that it looked. I did not like the tongue folded over, but I only mentioned that to clarify that the stitching did not come undone. We actually cut it and unfurled. That's a good word.
Opened.
That's not a good word. Unfurled. It's a little fancier, a little more exotic. So if you were wondering why the tongue on this sneaker looks like it does, that is why. And speaking of looks or the overall aesthetic, this is also a darker colorway. So the dirt, it doesn't really show up. The wear and tear, it doesn't show up as much as like the Guava Ice pair that I mentioned. Those would be filthy. Those would be absolutely trashed if I wore those as much as I did these. I mean, you can see even the midsole and outsole on this pair, you can see how dirty they have gotten and how much I've really worn them. Again, that's really the only place that you see it because that is the lighter part of the sneaker. So that's pretty straightforward. It's also a sneaker that's grown on me a lot looks wise. And don't get me wrong, I liked them when I initially bought them, but I like them even more now. And I also think they look good beat up a little bit. That's something that I talk about a lot. It's kind of a recurring theme here on the channel, but I love to wear my sneakers. So naturally, I'm going to gravitate towards and like sneakers more that look good worn. These are definitely that. And I think it's partly because Union LA's whole approach to these was to give us that vintage throwback kind of look. And I think that style just really lends itself to wear and tear and putting miles into a sneaker. Buckets, does that make sense?
It does.
So overall, I am going to give these a rating of 9.9 out of 10 as far as the final verdict goes. Wearing them has only made them better. They're more comfortable, they've held up great, and I think they look just as good, if not better, than they did 2 months ago, which is, of course, a good thing. I guess the only real negative, if there is one, would be the fact that the resale value has diminished, although I do expect that to climb back up eventually. With a sneaker like this, it almost always does. Like we were talking about, Buckets, I think the main reason for that drop in the resale value is just the fact that they released more pairs on the sneakers app.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, so that was kind of a little bit of a fluky thing, but I do think that it'll climb back up and climb back up. You know, when you look at a lot of these sneakers and a lot of these collaborations, whether it be Union LA, Off-White, what's another one?
Travis Scott,
they climb up and climb up and climb up. So I do think that that will happen. But I'm going with my 9.9 out of 10. Buckets, you have not worn these. Sometimes we both kind of like test them. The same sneaker, you have not worn these yet, although I know you're plotting on them. You are going to try to sneaker thief me. But scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving these?
Like a 9, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's higher than what you initially gave them, but maybe not. No, because you really like these.
I do like these.
And did like these, like initially when we first got them.
For sure.
Okay. So Buckets is going 9 out of 10. I'm going 9.9. Leave a comment below and let us know how you feel. What are your thoughts on this sneaker? Which colorway do you think is better? Is it this pair? Is it the Guava Ice? How is your pair holding up if you have them? And are you hunting a pair down? Like I said, if you are, you can get them now for cheaper than what I paid. So leave a comment below and let us know how you're feeling. What sneaker should we life test next? And I don't know, what did you have for lunch? Always love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. You are very, very appreciated. We will be back tomorrow, mañana, same time, same place, right here at the Works Out with a brand new sneaker for thy head tops. Buckets, anything from you?
No.
Adios.